let's talk about everybody that wasn't Jalen Carter today. And I don't want to stay just on Jalen and Stetson Bennett. That's y'all hear us talk about those two guys all the time. But we got to start with Stetson. From my take, my read on it, I don't think he really did anything one way or another. I don't think he crushed himself. I don't think he did anything to wow anybody either.
No, he let a few deep balls kind of hang up on him a little bit. A couple of them that guys had to wait on. Chip Towers made a pretty good assessment. God, persona non grata. I get it. You guys don't like him. I do.
Chip
whatever.
With the stash today.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I told him I called it. I had a name for it when I saw it. I can't say it because it's inappropriate. But Chip made a good point. He's like, he's throwing the ball so much better to his left than he threw to his right. And he was right. He was kind of driving the ball to his left and throwing to his right, a little bit kind of wild and out of sorts. I thought it was up and down on the full field stuff. But when he got to the red zone, I thought he was really good. They had deep outs to the back pylon. They had comebacks to the front pylons. The old stick and nod from NCAA to Darnell Washington, the favorite play of Connor Riley of Dog Nation. Stetson was on time and on target in the red zone stuff and looked really good. And I thought he moved really well too. You don't get to see him as close as we got to see him today very often. And he is so cat quick with some of those late rush things they were simulating for him. But I thought he did. But I'll say this. I thought one of his receivers, none of whom are Georgia players eligible for the NFL draft. One of his receivers.
Darnell and Kenny, right?
Yeah. I'm just talking about his wide receivers.
Okay, gotcha.
But you're right. Yeah. One of his wide receivers who is at Georgia this year did the best thing I saw all day, and that was Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. Kind of ran a square in, and Stetson had like a late rush simulation come right at him, right as he was throwing, and he kind of let it sail on him and get behind him. And Rosemy left his feet, got at least 3 feet of air, and reached back with his right hand and palmed it, brought it in, and just kind of hit the ground running upfield. It was a really impressive catch, and that was probably the best thing I saw from anybody all day long.
Yeah, the flip side last year, Carson Beck throws because what was the word, Palmer? Pickens requested that Carson Beck be his quarterback. Is that true?
That's what we were told, that the Pickens liked how hard Carson threw it and how much he could air it out. So yeah, that was the case last year.
Yeah, well, this year you get the flip side, and Rosemy-Jacksaint does get to show up a year early and maybe gets himself on the radar ever so slightly. And he's getting every extra rep he can.
Him, Arian Smith, and Dylan Bell. Plus, don't forget Luke Bennett, Georgia walk-on and younger brother of Stetson. I know those two enjoyed that. That was special for them. With Stetson, it was some up, some down. Let
me pause you right there, Palmer. Mike Tomlin right here talking to Kearis Jackson, and Mike Tomlin was like glue to George Pickens at Pro Day last year.
Yes, he was.
We saw how that turned out. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering. I saw that, and I was wondering whether they were talking about Kearis or whether they were talking about Georgia receivers in Pittsburgh, man. No, I mean, and there's a great photo too from Tony today, Tony Walsh of UGA Sports.com, who has Jarvis Jones talking with his former coach in Mike Tomlin. So, with Stetson, I thought it was a little bit of up, a little bit of down. I thought the way that he handled himself with the media afterwards and how, it was very Stetson-esque. His understanding of, hey, this is something that I have to do. This is for the scouts. He wasn't completely satisfied. He was, I think he used the word pretty good a couple of times and said, that he missed on some balls and would have liked to have him back. I think he threw it 50 or so times. And let's be honest, how often are you throwing the ball 50 times in that short of a window?
I mean, that's
never.
true.
Never.
Yeah, that short window is the kicker. He probably throws it more than that in game day, but it's spread out over the course of about 6 hours.
Right.
Not 6 hours. That's a lot. Maybe like 4.5, 5 hours.
Well, if it's on CBS, it's probably closer to accurate.
through that many times over the course of the weekend.
Well, yeah, people bring that up. How much do scouts really get out of this? He's throwing on air. There's no real defenders. But yeah, I mean, you're that rapid fire back to back to back to back. That is mentally and physically grueling.
Every quarterback pro day is different. I mean, he was saying part of what he's done with quarterback country out in Dallas is they helped script the routes that these guys were going to run, and they had a script NFL script. They had a script of what he was going to do, what these receivers were going to run, just essentially laying out, hey, we're going to showcase this about Stetson's game. And I would like to go back and watch it again and, see, hey, what did he throw more than he did others? I noticed he had the Zach Wilson rollout throw across his body, deep ball in there that wowed everyone on social media when Zach did it. Stetson did it. And I believe it was dropped by Matt Landers.
Well,
he had a couple of those. Listen, Matt, you say what you want about Matt Landers. In the House of Pain indoor facility in the Woodruff practice fields, that son of a gun caught a lot of stuff. It was just between them edges that he had some issues.
Chris Smith said he got a welcome to college from Matt Landers.
Man, I'll tell y'all right now, I really hope Matt Landers becomes a good player, but I'm going to have a burr in my saddle for Matt Landers for a long time, because 2 preseasons in a row, I had dads of player parents, of players calling me. I had sources who saw practice, other people that will remain nameless. I'm talking about like in unison. Man, Matt Landers is the truth. Matt Landers is dominating the scrimmage. Matt Landers just torched not Darian Kendrick, just torched Eric Stokes. Who
was there today?
Just lighting people up. And then the season rolls around and Matt Landers is AWOL.
Stokes and Nakobe Dean showing up today. And how about Nakobe Dean showing up in the Georgia Pro Day attire? That threw me for a loop. I was like, is he out there to
I believe Nakobe is taking classes this semester. Because I've heard from some folks around campus that he's been on the buses over by Driftmeyer.
The ghost of Nakobe Dean is still remaining
good
on
for
the
you,
Georgia
Nakobe
campus.
Dean. Good for you, Nakobe Dean. I know we're not chopping wood yet, but that's something we could chop wood about. Tomahawk, since you can hear me but not see me, that's probably a good thing. Did anyone run a 40 today? Kenny McIntosh ran it twice. We were very much so blocked out. Jake had a stopwatch, but did not get the time.
It took me a while to get over to a place where I could actually time it because they were running straight at us for a bit.
Yeah.
I did get a mere speed. Myself, Mark Weiser, and Jed May over at UGA Sports, we all got a mere speed
raced?
of 4.31, 4.31, and 4.32. No, we did not race. We did not race. Jed could probably outrun both me and Weiser on his hands. I need not say that about Weiser. Weiser's more athletic than you may think.
Who do you think the fastest reporter is on the Georgia beat?
I mean, are we counting like former players? Because
no, it's probably Connor.
No, like the
I don't know. Jordan's kind of wiry.
Connor's in good shape though. Connor actually runs a lot.
Oh yeah, Connor is. Yeah, he runs like marathons. So.
Yeah, Connor's.
Well,
he's got to put Band-Aids on his nipples.
He's got to put that lanolin on there. Any other?
Let's drop the breastfeeding tips over here.
This is in my
this
near future.
Bark after dark.
Any other standouts from Pro Day today? Kenny McIntosh, Keely Ringo, Robert Beal. I mean, Beal coming off of that good NFL combine looked like he was still out there getting some work done. I was not glued to the TV screen, and really the coverage was centered on Stetson and Jalen. So I didn't really see much of those dudes.
So yes, Sean, William Poole was working out. The former players that were there, I've got the list. William Poole was there. Obviously, he didn't finish the season with the team. Jaden Hunter from Western Kentucky, Hugh Nelson from Hawaii, Amir Speed from Michigan State, Colby Wyatt from Hawaii, and Matt Landers from Arkansas. Jake, you mentioned Darnell putting on weight, and I will say he looked skinny from what I saw.
Compared to what he looks like with pads on, he does look skinny.
Yeah, he does look skinny, and so maybe he put on weight, maybe he didn't. I'm not so sure that his
comeback a liar.
He is.
Maybe
somebody get the word out to that man right there.
But I thought I'm not so sure his combine measurements weren't off entirely.
Could be. You could be right about that. Okay. All right.
But
you're not calling him a liar. Your ass gets to live another day.
but 270 is still less than he played at.
Darnell Washington busted in through the wall at the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah. Kirby said something today about sometimes Darnell playing at over 280.
Well,
that's just insane, man.
Darnell told us he was at 280 last season. So I mean, he's already lower than what he was with the hope of becoming a better pass catcher because of it, but still maintaining that run blocking ability.
Man, I'll tell you right now, if you tell me I got to tackle Darnell Washington at 280 pounds in the open field, I'm going to ask you for a pistol or a cyanide tablet.
No question.
Give me.
And I might use both on myself.
Yeah, just to be sure. Jake Roos, welcome to the show.
No.
Let's pivot from Pro Day. We have everything you could want on Pro Day over at DawgsHQ.com. $10 for 4 months right now. Is that correct?
That is. And everything on Pro Day, including some intel. And I'm not talking about like, hey, this is what we saw. Even though, listen, we got experts over there and we know what we're looking at. But I share some of the thoughts that I was able to reach out and get some guys to text me back on what they thought about Georgia players at the Combine. Come check it out. I think it's pretty informative, pretty unique. It's the first time, honestly, that I've ever covered a Combine, and I've kind of tapped into those things and kind of been able to say, here's what people are saying that I know and trust about, the way these Georgia players worked out. So come check us out. I mean, it's less than a penny a day. It really is. It's less than a penny a day to come spend 4 months with us and get to know us over at DawgsHQ.